Hello, and welcome back. It's December, which means the cold and flu season has officially arrived. Now today, we're going to dive into one of the biggest topics that parents ask about this time of year, the flu. What is it? How does it spread? What symptoms to expect? By the end of this video, you'll feel confident navigating the flu season with your kids. Let's get started. So, what is the flu? Well, you've probably heard people say, I caught the flu, and that can mean anything. Maybe they had a cough. Maybe they were throwing up. Maybe they just felt a little off. But when a doctor says you have the flu, they're talking specifically about the influenza virus. This virus tends to cause a sudden high fever, feeling extremely tired, decreased appetite, cough, congestion, runny nose, and sometimes even vomiting and diarrhea. Now, most people feel sick for several days. Maybe they miss a little bit of work or school, and then they recover with rest and supportive care. But sometimes these symptoms can take a turn for the worse. Complications include ear infections, sinus infections, trouble breathing, dehydration, pneumonia. Now, no one wants to be sick with the flu. So, how do you stop it from spreading? Well, to prevent the flu, it helps to understand how a virus moves from person to person. The flu spreads mainly through tiny droplets released when somebody coughs, sneezes, or even talks. These droplets can land into your nose, mouth, and on the surfaces that you touch. And so this is why we tell you to cover your coughs and sneezes. The other thing that can help is using a mask. Now, masks aren't perfect, but they do provide an extra layer of protection by reducing how easy it is for those droplets to get to your mouth and your nose. The other thing to consider is that when you're sick, your body creates mucus, and that mucus traps viruses and helps to expel it. And so when you're blowing your nose, there's virus in there. Please wash your hands after you blow your nose. Now, parents often ask, how long will this illness last? Well, a sample timeline of the flu goes like this. For the first few days, 1 to 3, sometimes 5 days, those symptoms are going to hit you fast. High fever, chills, body aches, fatigue, cough. Then, by about days 3 to 5 or so, the fever gets better, but you're still going to feel a little tired with the cough, congestion, and runny nose. Then finally, after those 5 to 7 days, the rest of the week, maybe up to 10 days, the energy will get better, but the cough and runny nose may continue to linger for just a little bit longer. Now, the main thing with flu is supportive care. That means that we treat the symptoms. This includes fever reducers such as Tylenol or Motrin, fluids, water, juice, Gatorade, anything that keeps you hydrated, and then things to manage the mucus. So nasal saline, suctioning, humidifiers, sinus rinses, and of course, lots of rest. Now, if you see your doctor early, usually within the first 1 to 2 days, they may be able to prescribe something called Tamiflu. This can help shorten the duration of illness and help reduce symptom severity. But ask your doctor if that's an option for you. Now, let's talk about the flu vaccine. There's a lot of information and misinformation about the flu vaccine. So here are some basics. The pros. It reduces your chance of catching the flu. And then if you do get sick, symptoms are typically shorter and milder, and thus it can reduce the risk of hospitalization. Now the cons? Well, the flu vaccine does need to be given every year. And this is because our immunity to the flu virus fades over time. The virus itself mutates very quickly, and these frequent changes mean that the body doesn't retain long-term immunity the way it does with some of their other vaccines. Another downside is that the vaccine's effectiveness depends on how accurately scientists can predict the flu strains. So some years we're really good at doing that, while other years, not as good. Here's a chart from the CDC. This chart shows you how well we've done at predicting the flu vaccine in the past 15 years. In short, in the past 15 years, the flu vaccine has averaged about a 50% effectiveness. Now, whether or not you get the flu vaccine is a very personal choice. Consider these questions when you're getting the flu vaccine. What are your exposures? What is the health of those around you? For example, do you live with kids that go to daycare, school? Are you with the elderly? Is there anyone in your family who is at higher risk of complications if they were to get sick from the flu? Answering these questions, as well as weighing the pros and cons, are important as you consider getting the flu vaccine each year. So, that's the flu in a nutshell. It can make kids and adults feel very miserable, but most people recover with rest, fluids, and good supportive care. My goal here is always to help you feel informed rather than overwhelmed. So, if you still have questions about symptoms, vaccines, or whether your child should be seen, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.